Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union energy update. I had not intended to do a Sacred Union energy update today. I thought that I was going to be doing a poll for social media, Instagram, Facebook, and a community post here, a written post, but there was too much. And so I decided to just hop on, talk about these cards, and pull some more and see if there's just anything else we can get. What can we get? So first I want to talk about the Divine Feminine because that's who I ended up pulling for first. And we have the Six of Swords, we have the Two of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Wands. Despite the Two of Pentacles, which can feel kind of like a juggling energy, I do feel like the Divine Feminine is in a pretty stable place where she's feeling centered, she's feeling peace within, she's feeling balanced within herself. And if she had been feeling an energy of disconnect previously, I feel like she is righting that ship, so to speak. She is centering herself. She's coming back to herself. She's definitely feeling that union and that wholeness within. And I do want to encourage you guys to check out the light language transmission that I just posted about healing the feminine. We channeled a lot of messages in the beginning of that transmission for the Divine Feminine. I also posted it as a collective message here on the channel. So I will put a link to those videos in the description box for you. Make sure that you guys are checking that out because it was powerful and it felt really important as far as what is the Divine Feminine experiencing at this time. She's doing a lot of healing, and that's not to say that the healing feels more like a balancing out. It's not a clearing of the distortions anymore for the Divine Feminine. It's a balancing out. It's a coming into union. It's a coming into wholeness because she has healed and she is continuing to balance out the polarities within her, the masculine and the feminine energy, through honoring herself. That is how she is truly healing because now she's at the phase where she is embodying her highest potential, her highest authenticity, her highest soul self. She has integrated her higher self into her physical experience, her physical body, her physical human experience. And so now she's just balancing that integration out. She's anchoring that in, grounding that energy into the physical plane. That's what this balancing really feels like. And so I do feel like in the past couple of days, especially, she has been moving through a lot of stormy weather, but she's been listening to her intuition. She's been letting her soul self guide her, her own inner wisdom really guide her through these kind of rocky waters. And when I say that it's been rocky, it's been a little bit stormy, it's because she's been feeling the energy of the masculine within. She's been feeling the disconnect from the masculine. And I really feel like this is the outer masculine that has been coming in. Inside of herself, she's felt at peace. Inside of herself, she's felt wholeness. If she connects back to her heart, she feels that joy. She feels that optimism. She feels that excited anticipation for what's to come. She feels that calm and peace. But she's really been feeling the outer masculine experience. And I talk a lot about that in the complete surrender video. So if you missed any of these readings or channelings, then I have a bunch of resources for you guys in the description box so you don't miss a thing. So I really feel like the Divine Feminine, she is really coming back to a place where she's saying, you know what, not my circus, not my monkeys. You know, she's holding space for her own inner masculine. She's holding space for herself. She's unconditionally loving her outer masculine, which is herself. But she's also recognizing that the outer masculine, if you're in sacred partnership, also has their own experiences, also has their own journey, and also has their own responsibility to undertake. So in the past, she had been trying to be responsible for the outer masculine, trying to help them, guide them along, focusing so much of her energy and time on the outer masculine when she has been neglecting, abandoning, rejecting, and neglecting herself, betraying herself. And so she's been saying, this journey, the past several months especially, has been saying, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to honor myself. And she's really at that point where she is stepping away from those rocky waters. Again, saying, not my circus, not my monkeys. You have your own work to do. And so I have my own journey to take. And we'll meet there. Someday we'll meet there. This is her really balancing out. This is her with the Two of Wands. She's making decisions for herself now. It's almost like she's grabbed the wand. This is like her outer masculine. This is her sacred partner. And she's like, you know what? Go ahead and you do your work. Do your journey how you see fit. But I'm going to do my own. I'm going to work on my own. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to honor myself. And for some of you, this might even include travel here. If not specific travel, this is just continuing on your sacred path as you are guided to, without focus on your masculine, whether or not your masculine is coming along, whether or not your masculine is there. I also feel, and with the bottom of the deck card, we have the Fool. This is her taking a chance on herself. This is her taking a leap of faith on herself. She had wanted her masculine to take a leap of faith into this journey with her in the energy of love, because the divine feminine has always just opened her heart to this journey, has opened her heart completely to love. And I feel like she has always been wanting the divine masculine to do the same, at least her outer divine masculine. And so when there was ghosting, when there was avoidance, then when there was lack of communication, when there was heartbreak, when there was pain, she had to take that, look at the reflection, look at the mirror. Remember, the mirror is like the opposite. It's, it's showing you something about yourself. She had to take that and say, okay, where am I actually abandoning myself? Where am I actually rejecting myself? Where am I neglecting myself? Where am I betraying myself? Where am I not in my full capacity? And so I feel like what she's been going through is a lot of heartbreak around this connection. Now, that's not to dispense the other person from their responsibility in the connection. That's for you to, it doesn't negate the other person's behaviors. It doesn't negate the other person's role that they played, especially if we're talking about the physical experience. This is to say that heartbreak was real, that pain was real. And so she has been working through clearing a lot of that heartbreak and that pain within the connection. But especially when it comes to how she had allowed that, how she had accepted any behavior or any actions or any kind of emotion that was less than what she actually deserved, because she's recognizing her worth now. She's recognizing, hey, I deserve to be loved by somebody who is at full capacity to love me back. I deserve to be, I don't want to use the word chosen, but I deserve, it's that saying of if they want to, they would. I deserve to be valued. I deserve to be honored. I deserve to be cherished. I deserve to be prioritized, especially if you are in a connection with somebody, especially if you were in an actual relationship with somebody. So she's really recognizing where that wasn't happening. So she's really valuing herself, and it just feels like she's just moving forward, moving away from that pain, moving away from that heartbreak, and finding that wholeness within herself. And a lot of that is because she's been healing her own inner masculine, which provides her with that stability, provides her with that security, provides her with that consistency, provides her with that protector energy, that foundation. And so the more she finds that within herself, the more she's saying, you know what, I'm moving away from anybody who doesn't match the energy within myself. And if the person that she believed was her outer divine masculine or her outer sacred partner is not matching that energy or matching that frequency that she's finding within myself, she's moving on from that and ready to take a leap of faith into a new beginning for herself. This is a new journey for her. This is a new beginning in her love for herself. And so she's only welcoming in those who match that frequency, those who are able to honor her, those who are able to believe in her, those who are able to support her, those who are able to recognize her as divine feminine. So I don't necessarily feel like this is going to be a solo journey for divine feminine. I feel like she is welcoming soul family, soul tribe. This could be family, friends, opportunities, or even romantic relationships. Doesn't have to necessarily be her sacred partner, because it could be a situation of it's the right person but the wrong time, but she's just moving forward. It could be a high-level soulmate connection that's coming in to show her the kind of relationship that she actually desires and that she actually deserves. So when I say that it might be the person that you believed was your sacred partner, it could still be your sacred partner, but it could just be a timing issue. It could just be an alignment issue, so that you're aligning to somebody who is able to provide for you. So I know that the labels can really trip us up and really trigger us on this journey. The point is to really open up your heart to that which is aligned to you, to release the labels and release the people, so that we can really open our hearts to what is meant for us and what we deserve, because this is what we deserve. To embrace the whole of ourselves and to love ourselves so deeply that we recognize that we're only going to align that which is matching our frequency. Again, not abandoning, betraying, rejecting, or neglecting ourselves anymore. Moving away from that drama, moving away from that chaos, moving away from the confusion that had really, we had really been saddled with. Divine Feminine had really been saddled with that energy, but now she's coming into union with herself. I was going to say wholeness, but they said union. Really coming into union with herself, really coming into wholeness, because she's recognizing the masculine and the feminine within her. And the more that she recognizes the masculine and the feminine energies within her, she recognizes that what a divine masculine or a conscious masculine actually is. And she's recognizing, hey, I'm not tolerating anything less than that in my most intimate relationships, especially. Again, that could be family, that could be friendship, but especially romantic partnerships, which is your most intimate relationship. Well, your most intimate relationship is actually yourself. But because she's recognizing that within herself, she's not allowing anybody in her life that does not match to that frequency. Powerful energies coming in for the Divine Feminine, powerful clarity and powerful realizations coming in for her. This has been a very difficult time of release and a very difficult time of releasing attachment, but it's releasing the unhealthy attachment in order to have that secure attachment, in order to have that healthy attachment, rather than, again, the chaos and the confusion that she had allowed before. And again, she was allowing it because she wasn't fully in union with herself. She wasn't fully loving herself. She was still in the process of replaying distortions and pain patterns. But now that's being recognized, that now she's coming into awareness of that. Now she's clearing and she's saying, hey, I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to abandon myself. I'm not going to dishonor myself. I'm not going to disrespect myself. And as such, I'm not allowing anybody to abandon, dishonor, or disrespect me. So this is huge for Divine Feminines. I feel like this is going to be playing out for everybody in the collective a little bit of a different way. You might be experiencing in very nuanced subtleties, some differences, but this is the overall energy that is happening, is moving away from the chaos and the confusion and moving, I'm just getting this feeling of at home with yourself. You're finally at home with yourself, and so you're not allowing anything or anybody to disrupt that peace. This is you really stepping into your embodiment, and I feel like you're creating a new future for yourself, a new timeline for yourself from this higher frequency. So Divine Feminines, I feel like April and May is going to be huge for you. I feel like April might see a little bit of some rocky waters. Still, I feel like you're balancing out, but I feel like May through the summer, you're going to start seeing just this Two of Wands. It's like you're making that conscious choice of, hey, I want to create the best life for myself, and I don't want to hold myself back. I know who I am, and I know that I'm meant to shine. I know, and when I say shine, I don't mean like step into the spotlight, although that could be for some of you. I mean like the physical spotlight. That could be for some of you. I mean just vibrate in your highest frequency. Just step into your self-empowerment. I'll share this with you guys. I had a healing session. I've been doing a number of healing sessions with my clients. And what has been coming through a lot in those sessions, and I'm going to be offering that service in April, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be opening that up in April. What's been coming through a lot is the symbol of a crown being placed on the head. Well, I had a powerful healing session with a dear soul sister yesterday, and what she saw was Isis placing a crown on my head, and I began to cry when she told me that, because I felt it. I felt like it was my turn. And when I say it was my turn, it was because I had not allowed myself to receive that energy before. I had not allowed myself to step into my full authenticity. I had not allowed myself to embody my true essence and my true divinity, my true connection to God, my true connection to myself, because I was still sacrificing myself for the sake of other people. I was still putting myself second. And that's not to say that I don't always have compassion. That's not to say that I'm not always wanting to be of service to people. That's where I've learned how to balance that out, because I was going in the direction of the other extreme of over-sacrificing myself and over-giving, rather than allowing myself to receive, allowing myself to really acknowledge myself. And now I'm really stepping into this energy where I am acknowledging myself, and I'm still working through that, but I'm really acknowledging myself and stepping into a strength that I've never known before. And that strength is coming from love. It's coming from internal love. love within myself and for myself. So Divine Feminines, I feel like this is, gosh, we have just been rebirthed and rebirthed and rebirthed time and time again. But the more you allow that, the more that you continue to ascend into that higher consciousness, the more that you continue to dive deeper into the truth of the soul of who you are, and the more you embody that. Divine Feminine, this is, gosh, and I'm just drawn to the seed of life. This is who you are. This seed of life, this is unity consciousness. This is higher consciousness. This is all of creation that is just drawing you to it. This is you in union with yourself, with God's source, even with a divine masculine, and with all that is. This is true unity consciousness that you are stepping into. It is brilliant. Okay, over on the divine masculine side, it's a little bit harder. Like we've been channeling, they're going through a little bit of a dark night of the soul. I feel like they are experiencing massive karma with this Justice card. Massive karma is balancing out and playing out. You see how her eyes are shut here? And there's a reflection in the mirror. Divine Masculine is needing to face themselves, and that has been the resistance. That has been the fear for them. The more they're able to bring truth and clarity to themselves by facing themselves and by facing their fears, the more that karma is going to clear. But they're not understanding this, or they're just, this dark night of the soul is pushing them to that awareness. Hey, if you face your fears, if you face yourself, because that is what ascension is. Ascension is understanding yourself and facing yourself, taking responsibility of yourself and being aware of yourself. That is what they're beginning to understand, and that is how karma is going to be balanced out, or how that is how their life is going to be balanced out here. So I feel like that is coming in. I feel like they have been a little bit of a Five of Pentacles energy, where they feel like they've been abandoned. They feel like they've lost a lot, but they've only been abandoning themselves. And again, the more they look at the reflection and say, oh, this is where I was abandoning myself, because this is when I wasn't being true to myself. This is when I was hiding myself. This is when I was wearing the mask. This is where I wasn't standing up for myself. This is when I was not making choices that were aligned with my highest integrity, that were just aligned with my ego. They're really at the point where they're needing to and are learning how to discern between ego and soul, ego and intuition. Their ego had been really, oh gosh, it's just like I'm seeing like this burst of ego. So it's like the ego was like inflamed. That's the word. Thank you. It was inflamed. And that's because that's what happens before the ego gets integrated. And I almost said died, but we don't kill the ego. The ego is needing to be integrated. The ego is the part of our human experience, but it needs to be integrated so that the soul self, the conscious self, rises. The conscious self is the part that we embody, and we integrate the ego as part of that. And so their ego had just been inflamed, but that's what happens before a breakthrough. That's what happens before a turning point. But the more you resist that transition or that transformation, the longer this pursues or continues. So they're fighting their own ego. They're fighting themselves. They're not recognizing that, hey, the more that they resist, the more that they don't face themselves, the more that they don't see the truth and the clarity of themselves, the more that is just going to persist. What you resist persists, right? So they're recognizing that, hey, they're not even seeing that there's a keyhole here and there's an open door and they can just walk through that door because they have the key. The key is nobody's holding the key back but themselves. Nobody's holding them back but themselves. That key is right there. It is ready to be taken. They have the key. Nobody else. It's their choices, their life, their sovereignty. They're coming to that awareness now. I feel like this is part of a major transformation. I'm getting major third eye pain right now. So I feel like they are really coming to this level of awakening of themselves. Could even be spiritual ego. This is dual, sometimes it's ego, sometimes it's spiritual ego. It's one and the same. Even if you believed yourself to be enlightened, the most highly perceptively enlightened person still has more to learn. And if you think that you're enlightened, well, you're going to get knocked down a peg because there's more to understand about yourself. That's spiritual ego. So I feel like they're kind of folding in on themselves is what I'm getting, like withdrawing in on themselves, because they are, this feeling is like, I want to hide myself away. I don't want to face this. I don't want to face myself, because there's so much pain when they do that. But what they don't understand is feeling that pain is what is actually going to give them release. It's what's actually going to give them freedom. Right now, they're actually just imprisoning themselves and trapping themselves in their own stories, in their own pain. And they're just abandoning themselves. They're neglecting themselves. They're leaving themselves out in the cold because they're not looking at themselves. And if they were to actually look at themselves with clarity, past the pain, through the pain, move through the pain, then they would see beyond the pain is love, because love is the truth. But they're getting themselves caught in the pain cycles. I do feel like this Four of Swords energy is a very healing time. I don't quite feel like they are there. You see how it's like attached to a thread, and there's this heart here that is ready for them. They just have to reach out and take it. It's ready for them, but they're just kind of closed in on themselves right now. They're just not ready to accept it. They're not ready to see it. This is a heavy energy, but what comes on the other side of this, underneath, is him and his embodiment. Divine Masculine, stable, secure. I love the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is Divine Masculine for me. I don't care about the other kings. Divine Pentacles is where it's at. It is sexy. It is attractive because they are responsible. They are reliable. They are consistent. They are secure. They are stable in their material world. They are stable within themselves. And if there's chaos in your material world, then there's chaos within yourself. If there's drama within your material world, there's drama within yourself. If there is lack within your material world, well, guess what? There's lack within yourself. King of Pentacles has overcome all of that. And I feel like that's the process that they're moving through right now, but it's very difficult. It's going to take a lot for this Divine Masculine. The energy can shift. They can make that conscious choice. The energy can shift at any moment. I feel like this is the dark night that they're working through right now. I do want to also mention that the King of Swords was at the bottom beneath the King of Pentacles. And you have the Hierophant, which is my awakening card. So this higher level of ascension is happening right now. This higher level of awakening is happening right now. But for this King of Swords, it's like once they understand themselves, once they see that themselves clearly, it's not just about having that awareness. It's about expressing that. It's about embodiment. It's about who are you in everyday life? What are the choices that you're making? Are you going to be repeating the same stories? Are you going to be repeating the old version of yourself? Or are you stepping into a new light? And I got this download the other day. It's like, if we're all characters here, if we're all playing roles. For example, I know that I'm more than Susan. I'm playing the role of Susan. And I happen to like it. Because I have shifted into this version of who I am that is so aligned with my soul self, but I get to act that out in my physical experience. Because I'm also a human being having a very human experience. And so I get to be this version of my soul self as Susan. I don't know if that makes sense. So if we're all playing roles, who do you want to be? What's that best version of yourself that you want to be? Step into that role. Make that choice. Don't repeat the pain of the past. Don't repeat the roles of the past. You get to make that choice. But it's through how you express yourself, how you embody that. Okay. Let's get a little bit more. I'm just going to dive a little bit deeper. We have the... What do we have tomorrow? We have the new moon in Aries tomorrow. So let's get a little bit more. We're going to start with the Divine Feminine here. Divine Feminine. More for the Divine Feminine, please. What do we need to know for the Divine Feminine? Beginnings. Yes, see the Fool and beginnings. And that is the portal. That is the doorway that she is walking through. And it is lush. And it is abundant. And it is just ready for her. It's ready for her. We also have the 2 numbers. So I do feel like partnership is going to play a vital role. This is both partnership within herself and balancing out those energies within herself. But the more she does that, if she so desires, she is going to attract a companion or a partner who aligns to that, who reflects that back to her. This is the work that you've done, Divine Feminine. You should be very, very proud of yourself. You're aligning to everything because of the work. And it was deep work and it was difficult work. You faced the deepest, darkest parts of yourself. You allowed those distortions to heal. This is you facing yourself. This is you having gone to the depths of yourself. You should be very proud of yourself. This is what is coming from that. Divine Masculine. We have blossoming and realization. Yeah, see that keyhole? That's this. They're recognizing that they've held the key all the time, the whole time. They might have been influenced by other people. They might have had weighed themselves down by the expectations of society or other people. It's going to play out in a number of different ways. They may have thought that other people were pulling the strings of their life or making decisions for them. But in the end, they're recognizing, hey, this was my life and I had choices that I had to make too. If other people are influencing you, or if other people are having their say or wanting to control you in any way, your control is how you react to that. That's your choice. Who you are is your choice. How you behave is your choice. Your embodiment is your choice. They're recognizing that. They're recognizing that there were choices that they made that were out of ego or that were not in the best interest of themselves or that were not aligned to their true potential, their full potential, or their highest self. They're recognizing this. They're recognizing that they've held the key all along to their own blossoming abundance. And so I do feel like they are, it's almost like they are, I'm getting a very specific message. It's like they have been playing one note all their life. And that one note was their own pain and their own story. And their pain and their story was, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm lacking. It was implanted in them is what I'm getting. This feels like it could either be like guardians or parental figures, something in their childhood. It could even be like teachers or whoever this was. It was implanted in them, this story of who they were. And I feel like they've been fighting against this their whole life, but that note has been playing and playing and playing all their life, and they didn't know that, hey, they have their own soul song to sing. And they're coming to the realization that they had been making choices based on that old note rather than embodying the soul of who they truly are. And even if they had tried to embody who they truly are, it was coming from a place of fighting against the old, rather than just embracing the flow of who they truly are or trusting who they truly are and embodying that. So there's a lot, I do feel like there's a lot of awakening energy that's coming through here. And it's not, we go through multiple layers of awakening. So this is just a deeper level of their own awakening. Because we've been channeling the Divine Masculine awakening and going through these cycles for a long time now. But this is, again, that higher heart ascension. This is the deepest level of ascension. And it's happening very rapidly. So I do feel like they're recognizing, hey, I was just holding myself back. I've had the key all along to myself. Not the key to other people, to myself. That's where your sovereignty is. That's where your self-empowerment is. You cannot control other people. You can only control yourself. And by control yourself, I mean you can only live yourself, your own life. You can only make choices for yourself. Choices can affect other people. And so that's where you have to be aware of other people and work with other people. That's what co-creation is all about. But if you're not living in your true authenticity, if you're not living in your true embodiment, if you're not trusting your soul self, and if you're not communicating that and expressing that to other people, then there's no co-creation. So there's a lot of revelations and realizations that Divine Masculine is experiencing right now. It's quite extraordinary, actually. All right, let's get some guidance. We're going to make this a shorter reading today. So let's just get a little bit of guidance, especially with this new moon. Divine Feminine, please. Guidance for the Divine Feminine. Guidance for the Divine Feminine, please. We have the card Go Deeper for the Divine Feminine. So if you are allowing yourself, this is turning back to the allowing yourself to feel that heartbreak, allowing yourself to feel the disappointment, allowing yourself to feel the grief as you are releasing whatever it is that you're releasing from this journey, from the past. Allow yourself to go as deep as possible. Allow yourself to keep releasing and keep doing that clearing. I had channeled a message yesterday in that light language transmission that, you know, allowing yourself to feel the full emotions of yourself, Divine Feminine, is a strength. Your emotions are actually a strength. And for so long, Divine Feminine had allowed herself to feel unsupported or even ridiculed because of her emotional being. But that is actually your strength. That is actually your power. Now, we let go of the stories attached to those emotions, but feeling those emotions, that is your power, because when you feel those emotions, you are just feeling the full force of life. You're feeling the full force of everything. You're feeling deeply. That's what emotions are. It's depth. And your emotions are actually intuitively attuned to the world around you. How do I say this? Your emotions, you are intuitively attuned through your emotions to all living consciousness. That's what your intuition is. That's why your emotions, your emotional body, can give you a lot of guidance and understanding about yourself and understanding about where you are. That's why when you're listening to your intuition, it's about how you feel. If it feels anxious, if it feels nervous, if it feels fearful, then you know that it's not your path, or you know that it's not for you. If it feels peaceful, if it feels calm, if it feels like love, you know that that is your intuition that is guiding you forward. So your emotions are actually the most beautiful thing. And when you're actually crying, that is a release. And that is a beautiful thing, and a beautiful expression as well. So allow yourself to go deep when you're going through this balancing out, this integration, this anchoring in, as you are releasing the old and moving into the new, because that is going to bring about the new. That release is going to bring about the new. So don't be afraid to go deeper within yourself. Divine Masculines. One card, please. One card. Do I have all these? I think I have all these upside down. Okay. Divine Masculine, please. Divine Masculine, please. Nope. One card, please. One card. Divine Masculine. One card of guidance for the Divine Masculine. Okay, I'm gonna take these two. I just wanted one. Let me see what's on the bottom of the deck. Step up and lead. Yeah, Divine Masculine. Step up. Take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your life. Own your life. Own yourself. Face yourself. Step up into your divine light. We have be humble. And we have assess the situation. So this is that energy of looking at yourself, facing yourself. Look at life a little bit more clearly. Look at yourself a little bit more clearly, and be humble in that. Remove the ego and look at things from the perspective of the soul self. You've been telling yourself a story for over and over and over for your entire life. What if you shifted that? What if you allowed yourself to look at it from a new perspective? What if you humbled yourself to look at it from the soul perspective rather than from the ego or the stories that you were telling yourself? This is a huge awakening for the Divine Masculine. I want to get one more card of guidance specifically for the Divine Masculine. I think I'll get one for the Divine Feminine too. This is the Monology deck. Let's get one more card of guidance. I feel like there's something else for Masculine. Divine Masculine, please. Divine Masculine. We have luck is on your side, but I'm not drawn to that. I'm drawn to the bow and arrow. Divine Masculine, if it feels like you're being stretched, if it feels like you're being pulled back, if it feels like you have no idea what direction you're going, that's where you learn to trust your soul. That's where you release, because you're just causing yourself resistance. So that's where Divine Masculine needs to let go. And once they let go, once they allow the transformation, man, they're going to be shooting off into the stratosphere and just rising like it's a brand new version of themselves, a brand new beautiful version of themselves. Divine Feminine, last bit of guidance for you. Oh my gosh. Well, we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. We have a new start is coming. We have you are good enough, and we have believe in the impossible. So I'm just going to, and also have faith in your dreams. So I'm just going to leave that there and take it as messages for you as it resonates. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today. We will be back throughout the next few days and the weekend with some more check-ins. Make sure you're staying tuned to my Instagram especially. I cross-post over to Facebook for some written updates that we'll have. I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.